You know that feeling when you sit down, create the perfect budget, feel incredibly proud of yourself for finally getting your financial life together, and then, exactly 11 days later, you're staring at your bank account, wondering where the hell all your money went. You're not alone. In fact, 84% of Americans who create a budget blow right past it every single month. But here's what's messed up. The problem isn't your willpower or your math skills. It's that you're making 5 critical mistakes that nobody's telling you about. My name is Seb, and I'm borderline obsessed with understanding why smart people keep making the same money mistakes over and over. Mistake number 1. Treating the 50-30-20 rule like gospel when your math doesn't add up. Let's start with the biggest lie in personal finance. You've probably heard of the 50-30-20 rule, right? 50% of your after-tax income goes to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings. Sounds reasonable? Sounds balanced. There's just one problem. It's mathematically impossible for most people. Here's the thing that financial gurus conveniently forget to mention. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household's big 3 expenses, housing, transportation, and food, already eat up 63% of total spending. Add in healthcare and insurance, and you're at 84%. That's before you've bought a single piece of clothing, paid for a haircut, or turned on Netflix. Let me paint you a picture of what this actually looks like. The Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies found that 43.5 million American households spend more than 30% of their income on housing alone. Among renters, it's even worse. 50% of all renters are spending more than 30% of their paycheck on rent. If you're a millennial between 22 and 29, the median is 45% of your income just for housing. So when someone tells you to keep your needs at 50%, they're asking you to fit housing, food, transportation, healthcare, insurance, utilities, and everything else into half your income. Good luck with that. Here's the uncomfortable reality. If housing is eating 45% of your income, you've got 5% left for every other need before you've violated the sacred 50% rule. The framework was broken before you even started. The fix? Stop trying to force your real-life expenses into someone else's percentages. Instead, track what you're actually spending for 3 months. Then, work backwards. If your needs are 70% of your income, that's your starting point. Now you can make real decisions about what to cut or how to increase your income. Mistake number 2, getting blindsided by irregular expenses that happen every single year. This is where most people completely mess this up. You create your monthly budget, account for rent, groceries, gas, and subscriptions. You're feeling good. Then your car needs new tires. Budget destroyed. 3 months later, your insurance premium is due. Budget destroyed again. It's like playing financial whack-a-mole. Here's what nobody tells you about these surprise expenses. They're not surprises. They're just irregular. Let me show you exactly how this works with real numbers. The average annual vehicle maintenance costs $1,452 per year. That's $121 per month that you should be setting aside. But most people don't. Instead, they get hit with a $600 brake job and raid their emergency fund or throw it on a credit card. AAA reports that 1 in 3 American drivers literally cannot pay for an unexpected car repair without going into debt. But here's where it gets interesting. Car maintenance isn't even the biggest culprit. Healthcare expenses average $6,197 per year per household. But they don't arrive in neat monthly installments. They show up as a $2,089 bill that throws your entire financial plan into chaos. And subscriptions? This is genuinely fascinating. Research found that Americans think they're spending $86 per month on subscriptions. Their actual spending? $219 per month. That's a $133 monthly gap of money that's just evaporating from their accounts because they've lost track of it. Think about it this way. It's like having a leak in your roof that only drips when it rains. You can ignore it most of the time, but eventually there's a storm, and suddenly your ceiling is destroyed. The leak was always there. You just pretended it wasn't. The solution is creating what financial planners call sinking funds, separate buckets of money for irregular expenses. $121 per month into car maintenance. Put $200 per month into medical expenses. Put money aside for gifts, holidays, and annual renewals. Yes, it means less money available for daily spending, but it also means you're not destroying your entire budget 4 times a year. Mistake number 3, treating your budget like a diet and triggering the what the hell effect. Let's be real about something. Your brain is actively sabotaging your budget, and it's using the exact same psychological tricks that destroy this phenomenon that researchers discovered called the what the hell effect. It was originally found in dieting studies, but it works identically with money. Here's how it plays out. You set a strict budget of $200 for dining out. On day 9, you have an unexpectedly expensive dinner that costs $87. You've blown your budget. Your brain registers this as a failure, and then this is the critical part. All restraint collapses entirely. That $87 dinner becomes a $400 weekend because your brain has shifted from "I'm being careful" to "I've already failed, so why?" The research from Leiden University is brutal. The trigger isn't even the actual amount you overspend. It's the perception of having broken a rule. Your brain literally can't tell the difference between being $5 over budget and $500 over budget once it registers failure. But here's where things get really interesting. A study in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that people who practiced self-compassion after a slip consumed less than half as much in subsequent temptation compared to those who felt guilty. Self-forgiveness works better than stricter rules. This is what nobody talks about. Rigid budgets create the psychological conditions for catastrophic failure. You're better off with a flexible budget that has built-in buffer categories than a perfect budget that falls apart the first time real life happens. Mistake number 4, building your budget on money you never actually receive. Here's a mistake that's so basic it's almost embarrassing, yet it's incredibly common. People build their budgets using their gross income instead of their take-home pay. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. You make $50,000 per year. That's $4,167 per month. You build your budget around that number. 50% for needs is $2,083. 30% for wants is $1,250. 20% for savings is $833. You're feeling organized and responsible. There's just one problem. You never see that $4,167. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, Medicare, health insurance premiums, and 401k contributions, your actual take-home pay might be $2,900. That's a difference of $1,267 per month, or $15,204 per year that you've budgeted to spend, but don't actually have. The math is brutal when you run the real numbers. You're trying to live on a plan that requires $4,167 per month with only $2,900 actually hitting your bank account. This isn't a budgeting problem. This is a math problem. Always, always, always budget from your net income, the actual money that lands in your checking account. I know it feels depressing to see the smaller number, but budgeting with imaginary money guarantees failure. Mistake number 5, having zero buffer for the fact that life is unpredictable. The final mistake is assuming that your income and expenses will be perfectly stable month after month. Spoiler alert, they won't be. The U.S. Financial Diaries Project tracked 235 households for an entire year and found something remarkable. The average household experienced a 39% month-to-month variation in income. Not year to year, month to month. That means roughly 5 months per year, your income swings by more than 25% from your average, either higher or lower. Now layer in expense volatility. Your utility bills change with the seasons. Your grocery spending fluctuates. random expenses appear. The J.P. Morgan Chase Institute analyzed 6 million bank accounts and confirmed that median families see a 36% swing in monthly income. Think about it this way. You're trying to build a house on ground that's constantly shifting. Even if you design the perfect structure, the foundation keeps moving underneath you. A rigid budget can't survive that kind of volatility. Here's the uncomfortable reality. 65% of American families don't have even a 6-week cash buffer to handle a simultaneous income dip and expense spike. When your income drops 25% in the same month your car needs $800 in repairs, your perfect budget becomes irrelevant. The solution isn't a better budget. It's building flexibility into your system. Keep a buffer of $1,000 to $2,000 in your checking account so your account balance doesn't hit zero the moment something unexpected happens. Budget to 90% of your typical income, not 100%, so a small dip doesn't crater everything. And accept that some months will be better than others. So, there you have it. 5 mistakes that destroy most people's budgets before they even have a chance.